It seems like everything is better at night. So, I'm just like, why is it such a struggle during the day? But at night, it's like bliss. You know, I'm just like, am I turning into like a vampire or some shit? That's how it really feels. It feels like I'm turning into some kind of a monster or some shit. You know, but whatever. So my spirit guide, I have a couple of spirit guides to where they don't like doing mute. They don't want me recording doing music, and then they be fighting. They be fighting. It's two of them. They be fighting over control. Very dominant personalities. So now I can get back to doing what the fuck I was doing before. Okay, which was focusing on my books. It's just this is why I like moving slow. This is why I like moving slow, because I feel like if I had all the materials that I need to put my book together, I feel like I wouldn't have been focused on the warfare that I have been going through. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I love just going with the flow of shit. You know what I mean? I don't be understanding it at first. And a lot of the times I get frustrated because it's kind of like, man, I've been so consistent with my shit. I've been coming up with my ideas. You know, I have to purchase my investments little by little. That's good for me too, you know, because it gives me time to think in between. Because I'm the type of person to where I'm ready to go, but I be moving too fast. You know what I'm saying? I be moving too fast. So, I don't know. I'm trying to put my storybooks together, and trying to make it look as professional as I can. It's so much work that goes into it. I didn't even know, but the journey of learning has, the shit has been exciting me. So I went to Canva and I made this coloring book. So the thing is that they gave me 10 coloring books for $70, but they ended up giving me 13 books instead of 10. And I was just like, why did they do that? But when I looked at the book, I was just like, I see why they did that. Okay, so let me show you this book. So, so I be making wine sometimes. And when I make enough wines, I'ma wrap them up in my coloring books, you know. So it's called the Scarab Beetle Winery. You know what I mean? That's the brand of my wine. I think it's called Scarab Heart Wine. I don't know. I haven't finalized the name yet. But it's herbal wine. So, I was just like, I want to make these coloring books. So I got this coloring book done. Look at this book. Okay. Look. It's something. So I'm not complaining. But look at this book. Look at how they did this shit. Like this is the first page, on the cover page, on the back of the cover page. You know what I'm saying? I've been fucking around with it a little bit. And then on top of that, each page, except for the abstract pages, but each page is given a description of the different beetles. Okay. And it talks about how scarab beetles came from ancient Kemet, and they were spirit guides, and they migrated later on over to Scotland. In everything I do, I'm trying to educate motherfuckers. I'm trying to put motherfuckers on. And they did not put that in there. They don't have no page numbers. I said $70 going to waste. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's not a total waste. I mean, the coloring book is free with the goddamn wine. So, but at the same time, I'm just like, I could have did this myself. So I studied, I studied the technique. So I'm just like, oh, I can do something like this. It looks simple to do, but it's absolutely not. Because trying to line and this is the last page. This is the last page. This is, you know what I'm saying? So I'm showing you. So I'm not gonna complain though. Of course, I had to design the cover and I had to design the back. But I mean, it'll do good. I'm still gonna keep them. You know what I'm saying? So I have another one. So this is the coloring book in which that I created. So the thing is that you see the color is a little faded, So I mean, I don't know why the color did that. I got a new printer, and I really love that printer. It's a really good printer. And so I started making my coloring book. So the thing is that I'm creating coloring tutorials with my coloring books. But look at how, this is the one I did myself. So you open it up. Wait. So you open it up, right? Then when you open it up again, it's kind of like you have the introduction page. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, like, damn, I could do this myself. So some pages I colored, and then some pages I colored digitally, because I also have it to where you can download it digitally. You can print it out or you can download it to a device, and you can put it, you can color on it through like a painting app or something like that. So, I have different, it's very versatile. Okay. So, I've been working on it. And I've been trying to, so the ones that are not color are the ones that I did digitally. Okay, so this is the most recent one. I like this one because this is the most different one. I watch a lot of coloring tutorials, and I'm talking about those girls are perfectionists when it comes to coloring, and their pages look beautiful. It's more like practical. It's more like how people would want to color. I'm kind of a rock star. I'm a rock star at everything that I do. Cause you see this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a white guy. He got dreads, green dreads. You got the black chick and she's got like pink hair. And then you see the different textures, like, this is not professional coloring. This is not professional coloring, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people would look at this as if, oh, she don't know how to color. I'm a rock star at everything that I do. I can't help it. So this one is my favorite one because I kind of, you see how I did these circles here and just like blended in the colors and stuff. Each like little section has its own color. You know what I'm saying? I really like that one. So this book, these pages are also going to be for my calendar. That's why I have like different themes. So, this one is Christmas. Where's the other one? Like, look at this one. You know, I left the backgrounds blank. So motherfuckers can use their imagination. That's why I'm doing a tutorial, because sometimes it's like when it comes to coloring books, it's like people, they don't want to, I don't know, some people, you know, they just want to follow the picture. But you know me, you know how I do. Like, look, this is look, this is what I said. Enjoy a variety of free-form backgrounds. Let your imagination run wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to open people up. And so to give people ideas, this is why I'm doing a tutorial. So this was a blank background. And I just went in with something real simple. But you see this? You know, like, this is the rock star. That's the rock star, baby. Okay, even with this one, this is a clear background. But what did I do? I drew a scene in the back to where it's a Christmas tree. Then you have, you know, the window is open, so you see the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to give people, you know, like, just trying to help them open up their mind and explore more of their imagination. It also takes the pressure off of, you know, like, what to do, because like I said, you could do anything that you want to do. So this one is for Halloween. So you saw the Christmas one. This is the Halloween one. They're at a Halloween party. So, you know, they have, some of them have like different themes for the months, because originally when I created this coloring book, I wanted it to be a calendar, but it's been very challenging for me to create the calendar. So I was just like, let me just do the book. Let me do the coloring book first. And while I'm doing the coloring book, I can study and practice and fuck around with trying to get more of, you know, direction as to how I can put the calendar together. Okay. So, you know, I mean, and that's it. And let me see. So, okay. So this is the last page. Okay, and then, you know, I have my little extra page here, and this is the back. So I have one for the LBGT. Let me see. I know that majority of children like to color, and I'm going to do some children's coloring books. So I have 2 children's stories. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put coloring pages within the book. So it's a storybook / coloring, you know, coloring book. Okay. That one has, you know, it's really, it's wrecking the fuck out of my brain. So I made like little mini prototypes. You know what I'm saying? Little mini. And the thing is that with this paper, you can only use crayon and color pencil. When it comes to this one, you could use marker, crayon, color pencil. Then I have paper to where you can use any medium. So when I put the coloring book together, if you want to paint, you can do watercolor, you can do acrylic, and, you know, it's not going to bleed through the pages. So where is it? I want to be your lover. I want to be the only. And look at this one. Look how this one came out. You see, this one came out how I wanted it to come out. I don't understand why my printer is acting that way. And then in the back it printed like that. So, but whatever. So, okay, so this is my LBGTQ coloring book. Okay, so it's the same. What's up, baby? Okay, so you can see, you see this one, and then you see this one, vertical and horizontal, you know, whatever. So, you know, now I have not finished. I think I have about 2 more pages to do for this, but for my tutorials. But I have started on 2 pages digitally for this one right here. Okay, so you know, and I wanted the pictures to be kind of sexy, you know, because it just kind of, and see, this one is very versatile. It's very LBGTQ because it can go this way. I have pages that's going this way, and then I have pages that's going this way, you know. And they have the freeform backgrounds too, so you can put whatever the fuck you fucking want to. Some of them do have scenes, okay, but majority of them are not that way. I know it's kind of hard to see it on the camera. I think this is my favorite one. I think this is my favorite one. They look so happy. I wanna be your lover. I wanna make you. Okay. So. And then I have this one here. And then this one. So this is the one I did digitally. Oh, I didn't put the extra paper on this one, but I mean, that's it. I gotta keep this out because I'm gonna have to color by hand some of these too. You know, like I said, I haven't really started on it. But you know, it's just been a lot of work because it's just like I gotta create the covers, I gotta create the backs. You know, when it comes to structuring the book itself, then I have to measure the book. You know, I have my thermal machine to where, you know, I can bind my books by myself. You know, I don't have to go to a publishing company. You know, I like Lulu.com. Lulu.com was really good. Let me show you. I have a video of this book already though. So this is when I was in a rush. This is my storybook, A Lion. This is one of my children's books. But I was in a rush. You know, it's real nice. You know, but it doesn't look like a children's book. And then it doesn't have any pictures. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have any pictures. You know, this is my favorite part. Look at how they did that. I'm just like, bruh, that does not look, you know, I don't really like the way that looked. So, I mean, that might have been my fault though, you know. So, you know, I'm going in with doing this one over too. You know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I be trying to move too fast. It's like I just be trying to get the shit done. But what is the point of rushing to get it done if it's not looking good? You know what I mean? If it's not organized. So these are just like extra pages right here. These are my practice pages for when I was printing, so I could align everything and figure out, you know, if I want to print it on the front or the back, whatever. Ooh, somebody is touching me. Who's touching me? So I have another story outside of my two children's stories. I'm not going to create coloring pictures for that story, but I am going to put it together myself, you know. So, I mean, whatever. I don't think I'm going to put any pictures in that book neither. I might, you know, I don't know though. What's up, baby? You okay?
Yeah.
Ooh.
How long? Do a long nap.
You did take a long nap. You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
So, I have to do a coloring tutorial for this one too. And I'm going to make my own. But I'm still going to keep these, you know. So, I really look forward to, oh my God. It's getting hot. What is it? Somebody is here. I know that. Lord, my titty. So, I mean, what's up? What's up? What is up? Oh my God. This is a big boy. Okay. He taking a while to get in. Then it's hot. It just feels big. Big and hot. His mind must be passionate. So that could mean that either he's upset or he's excited. Mm. It's just all up in here. It becomes a lot with trying to juggle my life, my spiritual work. Like, I'll never be able to put down my spiritual work. I've already tried many times. And the times to where I have put it down, it's like my life is just not the same. You know, like I'll always be a psychic medium. I'm always going to deal with the crossovers. I'm always going to go through paranormal shit. You know, this is how it's always going to be. So the thing is that I don't want to make money from my spiritual work, you know, because the thing is that I embody so much of the energy. So it's just like when you experience me, you're already getting a service. You see what I'm saying? If you're looking for healing, you know, my energy is going to start working with you. It's going to start working on you. So to me, it's pointless, you know, like I don't mind giving readings, but it's like when people give me their energy and I do my free readings on the internet, the shit be coming out, so they be getting free readings. You know, and I do that to protect myself, because if I share my gift with you and you try to fuck me over, oh, you're going to get it. You see, it's all a protection tactic. If I swap out for money and somebody try to come for me, then it's not going to work. You know, the money is not worth me not being protected. I'm sorry. It's not. Because it's kind of like once I receive the money, it's like it goes void. So I've taken the money. Now, that is the exchange. So even if they get a reading and they do something against me, then I'm going to have to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to have to go through that. I would rather already have my ass protected. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I do not be playing about the shit that I do. I don't play. And I don't care, a lot of the times, like with money, I mean, I don't care about that. That's why I have other ways of making money. I have a couple of paintings too. And the pictures on those paintings, I'm going to do something with that too. Like, there's so many ideas to just branch off with when it comes to art. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, I was one of those people. And I mean, I think a lot of artists are this way until they wake up. I was the type of person to where I wanted to create on a whole bunch of canvas. All I want to do is create on the canvas. And I want people to buy my work, and that's it. I wasn't trying to do anything else with the images. Why is that? Because I felt like I was watering down the value of my canvas by creating other prints. And the thing is that it does do that. You bring down, when you create a painting, if there's only that one painting in the world, it's valuable. But it's not about what you think as an artist when it comes to your work, especially if you're trying to sell it. The art market is, it's a big market. I want to say $21 billion market, but art buyers do not make it easy for you, and they have certain expectations, for them spending their money and wanting to buy your work. I get it. But for me, I'm just like, bruh, that is too much control. It's too much control. What you see is what the fuck you get. Either you want the shit or you don't want the shit. So, I find myself, and my thing is, when it comes to art buyers, when your paintings are low price, they're not looking at it. A art buyer will buy your painting just cuz you priced it high. They consider that like, oh, they know their worth. And it's just like, I don't agree with that, but I did it though. So I used to price my paintings high. Them bitches is not selling, you know. I went to school for art. So, I know. You know what I mean? I know the connects, I know the places, I know websites, shit like that. So I knew what I was doing. Then I came outside of the box to where, I was trying to do like commission work. Like I would have take my paintings to different places and have a spot and just ask them like, can you sell my paintings? I'm trying to tell you, I used to produce paintings like that. You know what I mean? So, I would have so many, and I'm just like, it's taking up all the space in my home. They're not moving fast enough. I'm wasting money on the materials. I'm wasting money on the materials. And I'm not seeing anything in return. I tried to have a couple of ambassadors to where I would create a certain amount of paintings and distribute them to individuals who would sell them. So, this was the beginning phase of me trying, this idea. So, of course, I got taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you, after they took advantage of me and they ran away, when the money ran out, where did they come? They came back. Right. Like I be trying to see who I can trust and who I can't trust. Once you break the trust, that's it. Especially if you don't have the integrity to talk about it. Because the guy came back and he kept lingering around, and I was just like, I know he lingering around because he want to ask me for more of those paintings, but at the same time he took off and he ain't bring no money back to me. So it's kind of like he wanted me to just offer it to him, and I was not doing that. So he started to get frustrated and upset. So what did he do? Eventually he left. you know. Whew. I had my paintings in a shop. It was a conscious shop. And it was not selling. I ended up going to Richmond and starting my life over. So I told those individuals, I said, well, I'm about to relocate, so you could just have the paintings. So when I came back, and I want to say maybe two years later, I came back. The moment I walked in, you got any more paintings? You still doing those paintings? We sold those paintings like hotcakes. And I'm just like, when I had them on consignment with they weren't selling like hotcakes. So what ended up happening? So, they were selling the paintings for like $5, $10. You know what I'm saying? It was a conscious store. People, people in the conscious community, they really don't have money. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't. The canvas were pretty big. The most expensive canvas was $50. And I think that was like 24, like a 24 by 30. That's a pretty big canvas. It may have even been bigger than that. So, I'm just like, okay. I thought that was a smart idea because they had a shitload of paintings. They told me how that shit saved their store. So, when I came back, they looking for more. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, I seen really quickly, because my thing is, why didn't you pitch that idea to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't we have a conversation or a conference about that? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you tell me? Because the thing is that we could have did it that way, and I could have continued to produce more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like they waited for that opportunity. When they got that opportunity, it's kind of like they snatched it. So I just kind of seen how people, like, I like ideas. So to me, they had a better idea. But at the same time, they didn't put in the work for the paintings. So with them not putting in the work for the paintings, and I did, that's why I priced everything the way in which that I did. The cheapest painting was, I want to say, maybe $25. So they were selling the paintings for like $5-10. So them shits was selling. So I was just like, oh shit, that was a good idea. But at the same time, I'm just like, you already had that idea though. You already seen that vision. So why didn't you work with me? Why didn't you share that idea with me? We could have been making more money together, but since you wanted to do it that way, well, I'm not coming back. That's it. That was once in a lifetime type shit. And thank you for letting me know that shit changed your life. So now I know more of my worth and my value. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, meaning that I know more of what I'm capable of. Like, I can help motherfuckers through hard times with my gifts. But if you're going to take advantage of me, then fuck you. No, you're not getting shit. Every time I see them, they always ask me about them fucking paintings. You're not getting any more fucking paintings from me. You see? So, I've kind of been, I've been exercising my rights, and I've been learning stuff and like picking up on stuff too and figuring things out for myself. But everybody's trying to be a fucking scam. It's just like, you would get further with working with me. That's all I'm saying. We could get a lot further if you work with me instead of trying to take advantage. So, I be working by myself, because motherfuckers, it's like they're too hungry. They're too savage. They don't have no morals. They don't have no work ethic. I mean, not ethic, but they don't have, like, I guess we'll say, like, partnership etiquette. They don't have no honor, no nothing. Just a bunch of savages. Just a whole bunch of greedy, feeling like it's not enough going around. So they got to gobble up every opportunity that they get. It's like feeding a bunch of rats. And it's just like, oh my God. Like, don't fight. It's plenty more. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit be. That's how that shit be. That's how I be seeing the shit. So, over the years though, I've just found more ways as to how to simplify, making money and being able to balance out my spiritual work, being a mother, taking care of myself, taking care of my son, and keeping up my household. Like, I'm not out here trying to get rich. I just want enough to be able to take, just to be stable and have a little extra something. Have a little extra something. I don't have to worry about emergencies. I don't have to worry about if some shit go wrong or something, you know. If I want to take my son on a trip, we could just go on a trip, you know, real quick trip. But I mean, whatever. I do a lot of stuff. I used to do tattoos though. I still kind of do tattoos though. But I just do not like dealing with people, and especially with them fucking tattoos. You know. Ugh. People love tattoos. They love their tattoos, but it's just like, bruh, and it, you know, it was just a headache. You know, I used to make jewelry too. You know, I'm good at everything that I do. You know, but I'm not trying to be all over the place. You know, and I want, you know, I want to do something that contributes to my well-being. Like, I found it. So this is what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's real flexible, you know, cuz if I want to take time out and explore other options, like maybe collaborating with somebody or maybe like getting a job, you know, I can do that. I can take time away from what I got going on and go venture off and explore something different. You know, then I'm getting into my animation. So, you know, I got stories. I can put visuals together too. Animation takes a lot of patience. Oh my God. You know, I said, oh my goodness. You know, I'm sitting there working on some shit for days, and it's not even a minute long. This shit is not even a minute long. I'm just like, oh my God. This is so much work. You know, I feel like with animation, I should go to school for animation. You know, I believe in myself enough to where I could just jump into some shit, practice enough, and I can master it. But with animation, that shit is so intimidating. I'm just like, there has got to be a easier way as to how to do this. I be watching, you know, I watch other people too who do animation who haven't been to school, you know. And to me, you know, their work is very authentic. It's just, I don't know. I haven't broken out of the perfectionism because I went to school for art. That's why I be trying to save people. I just be like, you are already Picasso. Just 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 get into it. You know, don't try to be a perfectionist. Don't try to go to school. Like, let your raw authenticity like come out within your work. Because I tell people all the time, Picasso started off perfectionism, but he later on became very well known for his abstract work, you know, for his work. You know, that's what I'm saying. Everybody wants the realism, but it's just like, that's what photography is for, you know. You know, people, it's like we're trying to, we want validation from other people to say, oh, that's good, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you can really draw. When you learn, when you master the face, you can draw anything, you know. So, I mean, I mastered the face at 12 years old. And I'm going to tell you, I was sick one day and my mother took me to a place called Patients First. And there was a couple. And this couple, they saw me drawing. So the woman, she was just like, oh, look, she draws just like you. You should give her some tips. So he showed me the basics. And from the basics, I just start practicing, figuring shit out, and learning shit on my own. You know, by the age of 12, I learned how to master the phase. You know, so after the mastery, and don't get me wrong, because art is so wide. Because when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an architect, you know, but I really, back then, I really wasn't into symmetrics because I felt like I need to be good, and being good would be me being able to realistically draw people. So that's what I'm saying. I be telling people, fuck all that. Just jump into it and just keep going, you know. I'm institutionalized with the art. So, of course, I feel like I need to go to school. I know I need to go to school. I cannot come out of the programming, because I've had a lot of art instruction. It is what it is. And I appreciate the perfectionism. I don't want to discredit myself from it, but if I can save other people, then that's what the fuck I'm gonna do. But if you want to explore the perfectionism, then you absolutely should. I wouldn't advise it. You should be free. You are already a true artist before you let the world get into your head and tell you what's what, and start validating you. you know I really wish I would have had somebody to tell me that, but it is what it is, and I appreciate my gift. you know so you know whatever, whatever, whatever. It gets so peaceful at night. It gets so peaceful, just ready to unwind, and just chill. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I feel like somebody's trying to get into my head. Of course, they're trying to get into my head. They're trying to figure out stuff that I have going on. Well, I already told you, I already gave you, it's not everything because we don't have time. There are other things that I get into that I do as well, but you know, I really enjoy doing my art therapy, but I'd rather do it for myself. I don't want to do it for other people. I used to have like a paint and sip um, business. I still have my tools. I still have everything. I have my aprons, my easels. So if that's something that I want to do for somebody, because I plan to do that for my sister's birthday, throwing her a paint and sip for her 40th birthday, you know. So, I've had little mini, like little business ventures and all that type of stuff. When it came to the paint and sip, you know, I tried to get creative with it because at first I was trying to rent a spot. But when you rent the spot, if it's just a room, you got to provide the table. Then you got to provide the food and the drinks. You know, I wanted to be able to play like little games. I wanted to do trivia at my paint and sip. I wanted to have like a photo booth, like a photo wall. Um, when we play games, of course, I give out like little gift baskets and all that type of stuff like that. Little thank you, you know, everybody walks out with something, other than their painting. But, that's just way too much. So what I started doing, I said, I'm going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to go to a restaurant and I'm going to ask, can I rent out a section? So I'll rent out that section and set everything up. And instead of me providing the food and drinks, they can order their own food and drinks. You see what I'm saying? I thought that was better, but it's just like, people be getting greedy, and they won't try to make no deals. I'm just like, well, damn, can you give me a deal on drinks or something at least? If somebody don't want to eat, they probably just want to drink. Can you give me a deal? I tried to do one at Dave and Buster's too, but they found out that I was charging for the tickets, So then they charged me more to rent out the space. And they, they did give me, they gave me a discount on the drinks, but it wasn't much, So I'm just like, I don't know. Everybody's so fucking greedy. Everybody's so fucking greedy. Just whatever. It's like they're always trying to get in on what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I be out here, I was, I used to be out here doing my thing, at one point in time, but I don't know, people are just fucked up, So, I mean, it is what it is. Then it's kind of like you have people that want to collaborate with you, but it's like they're trying to compete with you too. And you never know, because the goal is to get money. So we come together. You got something that I need that would benefit me. And, I'm bringing in individuals. So when I say that, it's like they have a platform to where I can do what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I bring in the people know who they are, they know where they're located. At the same time, of course, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna break them off something. I gotta pay for renting the space, but it's kind of like when shit start getting hype, when shit start getting, like, oh, we went to that event, we, this, they was doing that, they was doing this was happening, this was popping, like they do this every Wednesday, every Friday. It's like when the hype start getting out there, that's when the hate start coming. And it's just like, wow, a good thing does not last very long. Then motherfuckers, they start feeling some type of way, because it's kind of like you bringing in people, but motherfuckers is not coming if you're not here. Well, I don't have any control over that. I don't know. It was just crazy. I be having the vibes. I be having the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to have fun. And I like to have fun with what I do. But it's just like, people, they always spoil the shit. It's, And of course, I can be mind over matter. But, the more that you ignore shit, the more it seems like people's demons get aggravated. Now they start gossiping. Now they start trying to sabotage little shit, little stuff. You got a date set. Then it's kind of like they want to show up to the building late. They want to make you late. or you have to cancel the plans, you know, then you start fucking up your reputation, you know. So that's why I said, man, fuck all this shit. The things in which that I have, like when it comes to tattoos, you know, like recently I gave my sister's tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So if I wanted to use that and do that for other people, that's what I'm going to do. Just like I said, for my sister's 40th birthday, you know, I'm going to do her a paint party. You know, so, you know, I have stuff, you know, to where I can provide an experience and a good time for people. But, you know, I used to do nails. You know, I used to do nails. So when I started doing my art therapy, I wanted to create a spa service with my art therapy too, to where I do manicures, pedicures, you know, facials, scalp treatments, massages, Reiki. You know, I wanted to do all that shit, but it's a lot. That's what I'm saying, you know, it's a lot that I wanted to do. I'm very flexible, so I felt like I could have done all this stuff. You know, I felt like all I needed was a platform. I just needed a building. And from there, you know, I could get it popping. You know, I could have certain events. It's when it came to my painting sips, you know, I was just like, we don't always have to do it on canvas. I could do it on t-shirts, you know. So I got the speed ink paint, you know. We don't always have to, you know, we don't always, like I said, it don't always have to be a canvas. We can make mugs. We can work with different materials. So then I was just like, well, let's do a workshop. I can create like different workshops for art therapy, you know. You got to be working with the right people. I used to try to rent Airbnbs, right? So it's like a 2-day event. You know, you come to the Airbnb, we do the party, we get it popping, and then it's just like after the painting sips, you know, we just chilling at the Airbnb, you know, doing whatever activities are around. Then the next day, you know, motherfuckers go home, you know. But what's up? Oh, but you know, motherfuckers be stealing from the Airbnbs. You know, they be trying to trash the place, messing up the reputation. Motherfuckers don't want to rent to you again. They already gave you a deal. You know, that's what I say, oh my God, I can't do nothing. I can't have nothing. You know, it's always motherfuckers messing shit up for me. Like just a bunch of heathens. They just don't know. It's like they don't know no better. It's like I'm always having to deal with a whole bunch of badass grown kids, grown adult kids. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to rent some shit with a pool. You know, I wanted to rent an Airbnb with a pool. That would have been real nice, you know. Sipping paint, pool party. What? Never heard of no shit like that. I saw this one place, they had the guy, he had an inside pool in his house. I said, damn, and that shit on the inside, so you can do it. I can do that shit in the wintertime. And that's another thing, because a lot of the times when you book an Airbnb, you got to book it in advance. And, you know, sometimes the weather may change. So you may have plans to do something in the backyard or whatever, and then it start raining. It it was just a lot. It was very stressful, like trying to figure it out, trying to get it together, trying to find the right people to work with, and I felt like I'm just like I would rather invest all of this time with being a mother. So, it's not working. I'm putting in so much. I'm investing. I'm here. I'm there. You know, motherfuckers is ungrateful. Then they trying to sabotage. Then they not serious. You know what I'm saying? That's taking away time. That was taking away time from my son. Me out here trying to get it like that, and it's not fucking working. I was like, man, forget it. I do still do my teas. I do my teas, you know. I love my teas. I'm never gonna stop doing my teas. I used to sell my teas too. I used to do hair. I used to do the fox locks, and I used to do the braids. That shit crazy, cause it's always that shit was crazy. I just be like, why do I attract the most fucked up people? I did a little girl hair, and her mom made her take it out the next day because she said she looked too grown. I'm just like, she looks like a little 9-year-old girl with dreads in her hair. That's what she looked like. There was another woman, it was a white woman, but her children were mixed, and they had moved and relocated. Her daughter was going to start work. She was going to start at a new school. Her daughter wanted her hair done. It was at the last minute. So I came through and, I did her hair, and, I don't know. The mom was she was just acting weird, I told myself, I said, she's not going to call me again. She's not going to call me again to do her daughter hair. You could tell, like, because her those children weren't hers. They were her boyfriend. So her boyfriend, he had 3 children by another woman. The woman was Hispanic. So the children, they look like her. They look mixed. You know what I'm saying? So she had a baby by him too. So they had a little baby together, but she was taking care of him and his 3 children ever since they was young. But you could tell she just seemed really annoyed. She seemed really annoyed by the children. And then on top of that, she starts talking to me about black and white and black women giving her a problem and all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, girl, I say I'm never going to hear from her again. And I ain't never hear from her again. I did a good job on that little girl hair. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I said, what is it about me that be doing this shit to people, Because I'm going to tell you, I'm usually really quiet. I listen, I don't force, I don't have such a strong personality when I connect to people in person unless I have to tell the truth, or unless it's some shit to where I'm gonna speak up about. But that's really not too often. So, I just be like, I don't understand. I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. My butt cheeks feel uneven. One side feel bigger than the other. Cause you know how when you be sitting down, the part where your back and your butt meet, it's like one is higher than the other. I have to go to the chiropractor. I have to get my body aligned and tuned up. I'm gonna try my yoga first. I'm gonna get back into my yoga because I've been stretching my hips. You know, last time I went to the chiropractor last year, they told me my hip was locking up, you know. So I gotta do my stretches. But anyway, I mean, that's it. That's it. So we're gonna end it there. So until next time, we'll talk again.